This morning on Joy News Desk, this is Nkrumah Day. Now, as the country marks Osadifo Dr Nkrumah as Memorial Day, we take you to his hometown in Nkrumah, where it is popularly believed that he was fed with banana minutes after his birth.
Just as the river flows deep into the sea, we will forever remember you for your work that you did. Though you wish to have been with us, but we still remember you.
Africa is rich and not poor. Africa has immense actual and potential wealth: gold, diamond, copper, manganese, bauxite, iron ore, uranium, asbestos, chrome, cobalt, a host of other minerals.
A pastor arrested in Mankasim in the central region after confessing to aiding a local chief kidnap, kill, and secretly bury a 25-year-old nurse trainee. Also, 60 dead in road crashes from January to June in the Bono East region. There's many more coming up within the next hour. My name is Kwesi Schandorf. Now to our very first story, scores of Ghanaians have taken to social and traditional media to commemorate this year's Nkrumah Memorial Day. Many are eulogizing his visionary leadership. Ghana's first president, Osadifo Dr Nkrumah, has been widely described by many political pundits and connoisseurs as a distinct African leader and an unparalleled Pan-Africanist. Let's now hear excerpts of some of Nkrumah's speeches and resounding comments he made during his political endeavors.
Great African Leadership Series, where we feature great inspirational speeches and quotes from African leaders.
Fellow freedom fighters, comrades and friends, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Accra and to this conference of African freedom fighters and supporters of the growing movement for Africa's liberation and unity. It is good for our cause to have a periodic meeting of this kind to examine our position in the great struggle to rid Africa completely and forever of imperialism and its handmaidens, colonialism and neocolonialism. Africa is rich and not poor. As the great wealth that has been taken out of our continent over 5 centuries of the spoliation and extortion very well proves. Africa has immense actual and potential wealth: gold, diamond, copper, manganese, bauxite, iron ore, uranium, asbestos, chrome, cobalt, a host of other minerals. Our essential agricultural produce have all been drained away by colonialist imperialism. Africa is far from being poor. It is Africans who are poor, not Africa. And they are poor because of the uncounted profit that has been made out of the exploitation of their labor and their lands. If we are being baited to enter a European community, we must have something that community needs, and needs badly, when it pretends to offer a bonus by way of aid. When Greeks come bearing grapes, should we not look them well in the mouth? If I may mix my metaphor. But I'm sure you get my meaning. I raise this point so that it will stay in your minds when you may be tempted by the seductive promises of new colonialism to forget the real character of colonialist imperialism and be persuaded away from your own true interests and those of Africa. For today, we must each see ourselves as part of Africa in order that we may face colonialist imperialism and its new form, neocolonialism, on a continent-wide front. For first, the attainment of freedom and independence. Secondly, the consolidation of that freedom and independence. Thirdly, the creation of unity and community between the free African states. Fourth, the economic and social reconstruction of Africa. This requires some plain speaking. And for the sake of Africa, let us speak plainly. As I see it, our greatest and the inability to see that the realization of our hopes and aspirations, the realization of our objective of total African independence, and of our future progress and prosperity is inextricably bound up with the necessity to unify our policy and actions in connection with the continued struggle for independence and the greater task of economic and social reconstruction beyond it. We must therefore face the issue of African unity now, for only unity will make the artificial boundaries and regional demarcations imposed by colonialism obsolete and superfluous. African unity will thus provide an effective remedy for border disputes and internecine troubles. In a united Africa, there could be no frontier claims between Ethiopia and Somalia, or between Zanzibar and Kenya, Guinea or Liberia, or between Ghana, Togoland and the Ivory Coast. Because we would regard ourselves as one great continental family of nations. Some of the leaders, it must be confessed, do not see the struggle of their brother Africans as part of their own struggle. Even if they did, they would not be free to express their solidarity. These rifts are consciously created by the imperialists between Africans, where they can sit back and watch with sly satisfaction.
Joining us now on phone is an Nkrumahist who believes in the ideologies of Osadefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, David Percy. David, now, of course, Dr. David Percy is the name. Now, we are celebrating Kwame Nkrumah's memorial. Of course, he is no more, but of course, there's been a lot of conversation about his legacy, what he stood for, and all of that narrative. In your assessment, what do you think is that landmark imprint that he left? I mean, not only in Ghana, but the entirety of the African continent.
Thank you very much. In a nutshell, Kwame Nkrumah stood for self-belief, self-confidence. That we are capable as any other people in running our affairs.
Doc, if you could speak up a bit, we are unable to hear you so audibly. If you could speak up a bit.
You lost that.
Right, it's better now. Go ahead.
Yes, I said that if there was any landmark college legacy, it's about self-belief, self-confidence, that we as a people are as capable as any other people in running our affairs. It's that simple.
Now, do you think that as a nation we have done enough to dwell on the significance of his legacies?
Well, as with all other nations, we have divisions amongst us. And there are those who gain when the majority of us are defeated and put down. How about being a fair understanding that we have? Then we can proceed. But I don't know, there is thing I came across in football, the concept of losing bonus. Are you familiar with that, sir? Are you familiar with that, sir?
Yeah, come again, Doc.
I said I came across this concept of losing bonus or losing bonuses for people on a football team.
Yeah, that is very popular in our football setup, of course.
Yes, people who gain when the team loses.
Exactly.
And I made the point. So that's the point I made before that is that as a nation, Ghana, there are divisions amongst us as in all nations. That there are Ghanaians and others not so Ghanaian amongst us who benefit. There are tiny few who benefit when we as a collective lose. And until we grasp that, we are not going anywhere fast.
All right, Dr. David Kwesi, we will leave it here for some extensive conversation on this subject another time. Now, as the country marks Osajifo Dr. Nkrumah Memorial Day, we take you to his hometown, Nkrumah. Our Western Regional correspondent reports that it is popularly believed that he was fed with banana minutes after his birth. Strange, isn't it? Well, we bring you more from Nkrumah's hometown.
At long last, the battle has ended. And thus, Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever.
We still have you in our heart, just as the river flows deep into the sea. We will forever remember you for your work that you did. Though you wish to have been with us, but we still remember you. We have you in our mind. Then myself personally, I would like to achieve all that you wanted, if not all, at least something that I wanted to do for Ghana. If I get the opportunity to be in leadership, I'll follow your principle. That is the self-government now. I won't wait to the future, and I'll put in all my possible best to that for you. I wish you happy birthday, the first president of Ghana, Dr. Nkrumah. My respect to you.
I caught up with former CEO of Ghana Gas, Dr. George Sipayanki, who feels Ghana's first president has not been celebrated as expected. He describes Osajifo Dr. Nkrumah as an institution
Whether we like it or not, Nkrumah was the first Prime Minister of this country, the first President of this country, and Nkrumah, it's an institution. It is by virtue of the work of Nkrumah that Ghana has become what it is now. We are enjoying a lot of investment, development that Nkrumah made some 60 years ago. Now, look at Akosombo, for instance. If you didn't have Akosombo, still you'll be struggling for power. You shall have power problems. And the man came with a vision. He's such a visionary. Look, listen, I'm not demeaning anybody. If all the subsequent heads of states who came to power had a vision of Nkrumah, we shall not be where we are.
Kwabute, a resident of Nkrumah, shares in the thoughts of the former CEO of Ghana Gas. He believes the previous government administration has failed in developing the hometown of Osajefo.
First president of Ghana, and you go to his hometown, even a road linked from Eziema to Nkrumah, you cry. You cry. So I don't know what is happening. That leaders who fought for Ghana and making sure Ghana gained independence under his leadership. And then when the road linked to his hometown is deplorable. Very bad road network. So I don't know what is happening. But as an Nzama, I'm saying that it's a plea that leadership, they should come to the first president of this republic and then making sure that they repair their roads and then making sure that they do something. Though the Nkrumah's hometown is the district capital, but I can confidently tell you that it doesn't deserve, because there are no development. Even nothing shows that Nkrumah hails from Nkrumah. So we need to do something about it. Nkrumah is someone who is selfless, who is competent, who served Ghana and fought for independence. So I think we can even use the whole week to celebrate Nkrumah.
Yes, so we are here. This is Osajefo Dr. Nkrumah Museum, situated here at Nkrumah. We are here to find out where Ghana's first president is now. This is where his tomb is.
Where we are currently is Nyane Best Kitchen. Nyane is Nkrumah's mom's name, So as I said earlier, this is where the mother lived. So the mother was here. This is where he prepared foods and all that. The mother too was a fishmonger, so he smokes fish here, takes to the market during market days. And so when she fell into labor, they were trying to take her to the living room where they live for her to give birth to Nkrumah. But then on her way going, she couldn't get to the place. So she delivered Nkrumah on her way going. Okay. So this is where she gave birth to Nkrumah. Okay, but let's look at the kitchen. So we want to look at the kitchen. This is a family house. So that is where they were trying to bring Nyaneba to give birth, but she never got here. So we want to take a look at the room, and then there's something few here to look at, and then we'll take a look, a walk to the riverside here.
Osajefo Dr. Nkrumah may be dead, but just like the elders of the community believes, the regrowth of a tree, which fell the very day of his death, symbolized the birth of a prominent person from the community.
This tree in the local dialect is called Enyenga. Enyenga. I don't know how to say it in English, but it's Enyenga. And so, people that know Enyenga tree, but it's not that easy. That's simple, that the tree will just fall like that, But when Nkrumah died, this tree fell just like that. And so as I said, they have to consult it, because a tree cannot just fall like that, So after everything, they said, oh, somebody great has fallen. And so with time, the tree started, growing again. And this is that's how you see here.
Stephen Tando is in charge of the museum here at Nkrumah. He says The museum is faced with several challenges, from low patronage to continuous dilapidation.
It doesn't befit Kwame Nkrumah status. Coming to Kwame Nkrumah Museum to meet this is a little worrying because I'm not sure when you compare museums of first president of different African states or different countries to Kwame Nkrumah Museum, it will be the same. It will be the same. Look at what you are seeing around. This is a historical place, and this should be developed to befit Kwame Nkrumah. This place has been neglected. The publicity is very low. We don't have a lot of people coming here because Nkrumah's name is already out. So when they hear Kwame Nkrumah and when they enter here, even the community even dishearten them. Coming to Kwame Nkrumah's community to see bad road, even leading you to here or welcoming here is something worrying. And when you hear Kwame Nkrumah, a lot of things come in mind, especially in terms of development.
Prince Ni Dako, affectionately called Junior Nkrumah of the Nkrofo Agricultural Senior High School, believes he's a replica of Ghana's first president and hopes to fulfill all his dreams.
One is leadership. So with that leadership skill, I was named Junior Kwame Nkrumah in my school for how I used to speak and how I used to go about his determination. Talking about his determination, bringing freedom. Most of the times, one thing I always do is say I'll bring out what is in my mind. Then the leadership, I'm now part of the SRC as a school prefect domestic in my school, of which I know that leadership from the basis will help me some way or the other, help Ghana to achieve something that Kwame Nkrumah wanted us to achieve.
For Joy News, I am in Athalia Kwanza, Western Region, Nkrofo.
Now, away from Ghana's first president, a pastor is being held by police in Mankasim in the central region after confessing to helping a local chief kidnap, kill and secretly bury a 25-year-old nurse training. The body of the student nurse Georgina Asot-Botre was exhumed by the pastor and police investigators on Tuesday, September 20, in the room of the Tufuhene of Ekumfi Akwakrum. Nana Crack Richard Kojenyako has more in the following report.
Anger, shock, disbelief was boldly written on the faces of residents and could be heard in their voices as well as police investigators were led by the pastor to exhume the body of 25-year-old Georgina Asot-Botre. The chief, who also serves as president of the Mankasim Traders Association and a pastor, according to the information gathered by the media, allegedly kidnapped the nurse after engaging in some sexual acts with her. After the deed, the two were said to have killed her and secretly buried her in one of the chief's apartments. The pastor was arrested in Cape Coast and admitted to the crime. He subsequently led the police to the chief's residence where the victim's body was exhumed. Notices surfaced in Mankasim announcing that the victim was missing. The notice read, Georgina Botre went for an interview at Cape Coast on Wednesday, and up till now, she cannot be found. Her phone is off. Please, anybody with information about her should call. The victim's body was reportedly buried nearly 3 weeks ago. Along with the body, the victim's bag, shoes, and other possessions were also found at the chief's house. Residents of Mankasim are requesting that the police ensure that justice is served after expressing their surprise and outrage at the incident. She's a thick, tall lady, someone's beautiful daughter, very beautiful. We heard that someone had been secretly buried here, and so we rushed here. It's really painful and heartbreaking. My daughter came to tell me what has happened, and so I warned her to always endeavor to sleep early. Investigations by the police led them here to exhume the body. I'm told she was killed and buried about 2 weeks ago. I don't know where the lady comes from, but I can tell you that the mobile phone is a valuable resource. The Mankasim town was thrown into a state of shock, with people trooping to see where the body of the trainee nurse was secretly buried. The victim's body has been deposited in the mortuary of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital for preservation and autopsy. Reporting for JoyNews, Richard Kwejonya, Cape Coast.
Meanwhile, mother of the deceased, Grace Andor, is calling on the state to bring justice to her daughter. JoyNews was at the residence this very morning. Now, away from that development, the Bono East Regional Head of the National Road Safety Authority, Emmanuel Echampon-Parry, has revealed that a total of 119 traffic accidents were recorded across the region, out of which 60 persons died within the first half of the year. He admonished passengers to speak up and report recalcitrant drivers to the authority as a means of helping reduce the carnage on our roads. And Asabit has more on the following report.
According to the Bono East Regional Head of the National Road Safety Authority, Emmanuel Echampon-Parry, the region recorded a total of 119 road traffic accidents within the first half of the year, and this includes 198 vehicles, leading to the deaths of 60 passengers.
This year, National Road Safety Authority, in terms of road traffic accident, in the Bono East region, recorded about 119 cases, and it involved 198 vehicles. That's the period from January to July 2022. Yeah, so 198 vehicles were involved in these crashes, and out of that, 60 people lost their lives. And out of the 60 people, 20 of the deaths were caused by motorbikes and these pragya, these tricycles and others.
He says even though the figures this year is an improvement compared to same period last year, more needs to be done to help reduce the carnage on our roads.
It's not good, but when you compare it to the previous year, I would say it's a little bit better than the previous year, but it's not good. We hope that by the end of the year, we'll be able to do more to reduce the carnage on our road.
Mr. Echampon-Parry admonished passengers to contribute towards the campaign to reduce the numbers by speaking up, as well as reporting careless drivers to the authority for necessary actions to be taken.
If you're a passenger and you are in a vehicle, we say, National Road Safety Authority say, speak up. When you see something that is not good, or when something is going wrong in the vehicle that you are sitting in, make sure you speak up. You plead with the driver to do the right thing. So if you speak to the driver and still he or she is misbehaving, please, you can call the National Road Safety Authority. Our short code is 194. If you call 194, it will go directly to the National Road Safety Head Office. Then they will also direct it to the appropriate region or the location, so that we can also take the necessary step.
He again urged car owners to ensure that drivers have the requisite licenses before handing over their vehicles to them, a move he said would help minimize road accidents in the area.
We request that they must have road safety or defensive driving training. And if you are a car owner and you are also giving your car to a driver, ensure that the driver has the requisite license, the appropriate license. You know the categories of license and which one can drive which vehicle. So please make sure the driver has the requisite license before you hand over the car to that driver.
Anna Sabit, JoyNews, Teacherman.
Let's take a breather at this point. The bulletin continues shortly. Thanks for your patience. The bulletin continues. Now, outside of the capital, the absence of maternity blocks at healthcare facilities at the Kalbio and Nyokoko communities of the Bolgatanga municipality in the Upper East region is forcing women there to deliver their babies in extremely difficult circumstances. Averagely, nearly 300 new deliveries are recorded in these two communities every year. But some of the babies die because mothers either put to bed on the way to the medical facilities outside the community or suffer from some complications as a result of delays in getting there. Help is, however, on the way as Member of Parliament for the Bolgatanga Central Constituency, Isaac Adongo, has initiated 2 maternity block projects for the communities. Correspondent Abesori now reports.
Members of the Kalbio community here in the Bolgatanga municipality of the Upper East region seek their healthcare services at this community-based health planning and services compound. The facility, according to healthcare officials, is too small to cater for the number of people seeking services here every day. It is even more precarious for pregnant mothers because the facility has no maternity block to cater for the over 200 mothers on the average who deliver new babies every year in this community. Matthias Kakano is the nurse in charge of the Kalbio healthcare facility.
Almost every month we have more than 30 deliveries. More than 30 deliveries. But for the ANC, that one is just every day. The ANC attendance is every day. Because sometimes, because of work, the pregnant women, if we schedule them, sometimes they don't come the days we schedule them. So, in fact, we are facing a lot of challenges because the room we use for delivery is too small. It's too small. So sometimes after delivering, where the nursing mother should wait before recovering them to discharge is a big challenge.
The story is no different at the neighboring Nyokoko community. A small community-based health planning and services compound serves thousands of community members here. It is also without a maternity block, even though an average of 96 new deliveries are recorded every year in this community. This woman here has 2 children, both of whom were delivered on the road on her way to a healthcare facility outside of the community. I delivered 2 children on the road on the way to the healthcare center. It is because we have no maternity block here. When you are in labor, you have to be rushed to a clinic in another community, and if care is not taken, you will not even make it to the place. It puts you, the mother, and the baby at risk. So we really need a maternity block in this facility. Another mother here is not happy about the situation.
We are here, and if they take you to Circle clinic, after there, some deliver in house, some you will not reach there. And if the clinic is here, it will help us.
The nurse in charge of the Nyokoko healthcare facility, Patrick Sapakbon, says it is extremely difficult to manage maternity cases because of the absence of a maternity block.
We have a midwife here, but due to lack of so many equipments for even delivering cells, after ANC, they have to go elsewhere and deliver, and that is a very difficult. A whole lot of the ANC service we deliver, sometimes they want to give birth and then they end up even losing their child.
There is, however, some hope for the women of Kalbio and Nyokoko. 2 maternity block projects have been initiated by the Member of Parliament for Bolgatanga Central, Isaac Adongo. Each of the facilities, when completed, will have a 3-bed capacity ward, an antenatal room, a delivery room, a recovery room, nurses' waiting area, and a store. A nurses' quarters is also being renovated, in addition to the maternity block at Nyokoko.
no woman should die in the course of giving birth to life. And we have a responsibility as leaders of the community to assist them have safe delivery and family planning services. So that's the reason we had to put up these two facilities. And so that will be 200 for the two. I don't know how much the renovation of the nurses' quarters will cost, but that will depend on what the engineers come up to. And I'm funding this from my share of the National Health Insurance levy, which is about 65,000 a year. But what I have done is that instead of dispensing with the 65,000, I accumulate up to a point where I can do something meaningful for them.
The two facilities are expected to be completed and handed over in December this year. For Joy News, Albert Sorry, reporting from Nyokoko.
Let's take a break. The bulletin continues with business.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. 585 trainee artisans from various trades in the Ashanti region are undergoing training to be refined for the job market. The Skilled Artisans Project is an initiative of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC Foundation. The project supports the youth in the informal sector who have difficulty setting up their own businesses. There is more in this report.
The GNPC Skilled Artisans Project is implemented in partnership with the Aseda Foundation. Artisans have undergone training in plumbing, fashion design, carpentry, auto mechanics, general electricals, hairdressing, interior designing and decoration, aluminium fabrication and catering. The trainees sat for their NVTI test this week. According to Dominic Idia, Executive Director of GNPC Foundation, this will enhance the employability of young artisans and empower them to pursue their entrepreneurial dreams.
So we start first of all with the selection of the candidates, and in this case we partner with the district assemblies in ensuring that we get the right people to train. So we target those who have learned the skills already but are just roaming around just because they don't have a setup to start something on their own. So the selection is based on those who have learned the skills but don't have what it takes to set themselves up.
Beneficiaries will further be provided with soft skills training in the standards of business and entrepreneurship. They will be taken through courses like bookkeeping, marketing and sales, branding, customer relations, attitude to work, safety at work, and entrepreneurship.
We want to move them from an informal sector to a semi-formal sector. That is, they also get the opportunity to be certified with the NVTI certificate. They get the opportunity to be trained with soft skills as in how they can keep their books and even invest after they are set up.
After the completion of the training, the beneficiaries will receive a certification from the NVTI. They will also be provided with tools to enable them start up. Some of the artisans spoke to Love Business.
Almost 10 to 12 years. Now, say, certificate.
After completion, it is difficult getting orders without certification.
Because sometimes say orders near a year near for obia on your full say if you are not own to me machines you bet me better than and to where just a big opportunity my
like many say tools.
I will be glad if I get the tools needed to start up.
Because in Timmy Kobasa will be for 9 years.
It is not the best to work for 9 years and have no tools to start up.
By GNPC, a program you know, I mean that should be say, me a support my SUI set up be.
Mona Lisa Frempon reporting.
Now, players within the transportation industry have been entreated to be innovative in the wake of the inconsistencies in fuel pricing. Country Manager for Trips Ghana, Isidore Potofi, assessed that additional investment is required to grow the transportation industry. At a press conference to mark the 3rd anniversary of Trips, he asked stakeholders to take advantage of the absence of government policy to advance the sector.
To address climate change challenges and offer a more sustainable method of public transportation, details of the start of an electric bus program for 8 passengers in Ghana were discussed at the press conference. The new technology-enabled transportation service offered by the Corporation to business and organizations is intended to boost the economy of Ghana. According to the company's country manager in a conversation with Joy Business, this is significant in light of fluctuating fuel prices.
We are deploying vehicles on the road, which means that we are investing directly or indirectly in job creation for drivers, job creation for value-added service providers like mechanics, and especially with the electric vehicle e-bus program that we're currently deploying, we're creating an additional economy where people would need to be trained in how to handle electric vehicles. And so for us, these are the 3 things that define TRIP. I think that the lack of policy is an opportunity to innovate, and that's what we did. And I must say that the government or the policy environment is not stifling of innovation. In other markets, what would have happened is that you receive a letter from the government saying that, hey, do not stop operating this service. But in our case, it was not the case. This happened in Kenya, it happened in Nigeria, but it was not the case in Ghana, which is why I believe that it's an enabling environment. But for beyond regulation, there are questions around the financial viability of the industry that we need to address. The rising price of fuel is a nightmare of every operator in industry. Government seems unable to address the issue, and so for us, our solution is the deployment of e-buses, which they are also working on themselves to have a policy position.
General Secretary for the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Godfred Abelbiri, indicated that the adoption of electric buses will support the sector.
It's an idea that we have gone to listen to the consultants for the first time at the Ministry of Transport office there, and also the idea that it will be good. And then the test even vehicles were brought, and we saw that Ghana, if we adopt him, it will help all of us. Just that we need practically some of them, and then where this recharge booths will be there, so that even the vehicles move from here to Tamale and then halfway the batteries run out. What happens? It is just like how we have dotted fuel stations on all the stretches where we go, and at any point where you think you run out of fuel, you can go there and refill.
Electric buses bring with them a wide range of advantages, where the most important one is a reduction of air pollution levels.
And that's business. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. The news continues after this break.
Now, Queen mothers in the Upper East region say despite the crucial roles they play in the traditional settings, they are barely recognized when it comes to important decision-making processes. They have therefore made a passionate appeal to the Regional House of Chiefs for Queen mothers to be given the recognition they deserve so they can support the chiefs to better serve society. Correspondent Albert Sori has more in the following report.
Queen mothers are women selected by traditional kingmakers, usually to complement the chiefs to provide good leadership at the community level. To select a queen mother, kingmakers carefully look for women who are all-round knowledgeable persons, full of wisdom, and therefore can offer advice to the chiefs and their elders. Queen mothers also organize women in the community, take their concerns before the chiefs and elders, and advise the traditional council on issues concerning women and children. But despite these important roles, Queen mothers in the Upper East region say they are almost sidelined when it comes to decision-making processes. At a stakeholders forum organized by the Community Development and Advocacy Center, Kodak, to outdoor 127 Queen mothers in the region, it was revealed that unlike the chiefs Many of the Queen Mothers have not been given the legal recognition through gazetting. Pognaba Felicia Agaboka is the secretary of the Queen Mothers Association of the Upper East Region.
In fact, this issue is a challenge to some of us, because when you look at the gazetting fee, it's not easy to come by a Queen Mother who is not doing anything to be able to get such money to pay for gazetting. So we are appealing to the government as well as Upper East Regional House of Chiefs to come in support, because some of we, the Queen Mothers, we really want to work, but at times when you are not gazetted and you want to work, there will be some kind of fear in you.
The Queen Mothers have therefore made a passionate appeal to the Upper East Regional House of Chiefs for their inclusion in traditional decision-making processes.
We also call on the Upper East Regional House of Chiefs to involve Queen Mothers in the House. For chiefs at the Regional and Traditional Council who have not yet initiated the process of installing Queen Mothers in areas should start the process now, for the support of these Queen Mothers is critical at our communities. The Queen Mothers in the region request that the Traditional Council should assign roles and responsibilities to Queen Mothers in the Chief Council of Elders and their various communities.
Vice President of the Upper East Regional House of Chiefs and Chief of the Mirigu Traditional Area, Naba Anosona Abisa Atasige III, responded to the call made by the Queen Mothers.
Contrary to the erroneous impression held by a cross-section of the society that Queen Mothers' position is alien to the region, we, the traditional authority, hold a view, and indeed, so that women leaders have been part of our traditional system. My friends, let me inform you that the necessary legislation that will give you the representation at the National House of Chiefs has been on the radar of the National House of Chiefs. My assurance is that I shall continue to be your advocate, and our joy to best to partner well.
The Community Development and Advocacy Center, KODAC, is an NGO based in the Upper East Region and working to promote the well-being of the vulnerable in society. The center has been working to promote the relevance of women in decision-making processes of the country since 2009 and has identified Queen Mothers as crucial to the development of communities. Bukari Isaku is the Executive Director of KODAC.
Today's function is they are doing this because the system is new. Most people don't know that there is even the concept of Queen Mothership in the Upper East region. So we got funding from Plan Ghana, and the thing is, how do we get people know that now we have Queen Mothers? So we liaised with the Regional House of Chiefs, and they agreed that they will have them outdoored, so that everybody will know that in the Upper East region we have Queen Mothers who are also working with the chiefs at their various palaces to ensure that there is peace, there is development in their various palaces.
He calls for government's support to promote the activities of these Queen Mothers and give them the recognition they deserve. For JoyNews, Albert Sori, reporting from Bolgatanga.
That's all for the news. For more, log on to www.myjoyonline.com. My name is Kwesi Schandorf. Do enjoy the rest of the holiday. Bye-bye.